What would you do if 6 days before your wedding, you discovered your brother was sleeping with your bride-to-be? Most people would cancel everything. Run. Hide. Scream. But not me. I turned the most humiliating moment of my life into a stage. A setup. A trap. And when I was done, no one looked at me the same again. This isn't just a story of betrayal. It's the story of how I turned my pain into performance, how I made liars choke on their own lies in front of 150 people, and how I discovered the betrayal went even deeper than I thought. You think you know how this ends? You don't. Let me take you back. It started like any other Monday. Coffee, gym, emails, and then the message came in. Anonymous. A number I didn't recognize. No subject, just a file. It was a video. Shaky footage. Dark, but clear enough. At first, I couldn't process what I was seeing. My fiancée, Lena, in our guest bedroom, laughing, wearing a robe I'd given her. And then, my brother Noah, shirtless, walking into frame, kissing her. Time paused. My ears rang. My heart felt like it left my chest and crashed into the floor. I must have watched it 10 times, hoping for some detail to prove it wasn't what it looked like, that it was old, fake, anything. But the timestamp was just 2 days ago. 2 days. While I was finalizing seating charts and writing vows. They were. In my house. I didn't cry. Not then. I didn't even feel anger yet. Just this cold, calculated stillness. Like my body went into lockdown. Lena had told me she was going to her mother's that weekend. For wedding stress. Needed space. I believed her. Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? She was the woman I was going to marry. The woman who once cried when I surprised her with a weekend in the mountains. Who said she'd never met someone who made her feel so safe. Safe. What a joke. I called Marcus. You need to come over. Now. He knew from my tone. He didn't ask questions. 15 minutes later, he was at my apartment. I didn't say anything. Just handed him the phone. He watched the video in silence. Then played it again. And again. He didn't look away until it ended. Then he passed the phone back to me and asked, "You want to bury him? Or make him wish he was?" I smiled. For the first time in hours, I want him to toast me at the wedding. Marcus blinked. What? I want him to be my best man. He thought I was joking. You're serious? Dead. That night, I sat at my desk and started going through everything. Lena's texts, her email, our shared calendar. Patterns started forming. Times that didn't make sense before suddenly clicked. Girls' nights out, late work meetings, spa weekends. Noah always seemed to be around those weekends too. Sometimes staying late at my place, sometimes borrowing my car. A picture started to form. A disgusting, detailed timeline. I even found an old photo on Noah's Instagram, a blurry reflection in a hotel mirror. And in the corner, Lena's purse. The same one I bought her last Christmas. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a one-time thing. This had been going on for months. I kept digging. And the more I found, the more calm I felt. Because now I had a plan. The next day, I called my mom. Hey, I was thinking. I want Noah to be my best man. She was overjoyed. Oh, honey, that would mean so much to him. I bet it would. Then I called Noah. Hey, bro, you free this weekend? Got a favor to ask. He sounded casual. Like nothing was wrong. What's up? I want you to be my best man. There was a pause. Wow. Really? Man, I don't know what to say. Just say yes. He did. I could hear the guilt in his voice. But he didn't confess. He wouldn't. Of course he wouldn't. People like Noah don't own up. They coast, charm, lie. He probably thought I never saw the video. Or that if I had, I'd be too ashamed to say anything. But I wasn't ashamed. I was fueled. Later that week, we had our bachelor party. Low-key. Just a few close friends. Beer. Cards. Stories. Noah toasted me. To my brother, the best man I know. You deserve happiness. I almost laughed. He didn't see the way Marcus looked at him. The disgust barely hidden. I played my part. Smiled. Clinked glasses. Thanked everyone. Because the real party was coming. That night, Lena texted me, "I miss you. Can't wait to walk down that aisle." I replied, "Me too." And then I saved the text. For the presentation. Yes, I was making a presentation. PowerPoint, footage, screenshots, messages, timeline. I booked the AV tech for the venue. Told him it was a wedding surprise video, something special for the crowd. He smiled. People love those. They were going to love this one. 3 days before the wedding, I sat with Marcus and went over the script. "You think people will walk out?" "Hell yes," he said. "But they'll walk out with their jaws on the floor." Good. I rehearsed my speech. Not the vows. I didn't need those. But the speech. The final act. I called it the truth. 2 days before the wedding, I met Lena's parents. They hugged me, thanked me for being so patient with the planning. Her mother said, "She's lucky to have you." I smiled. That's what I thought. That night, I received another message. Another anonymous tip. This time, it was audio. Noah. Talking to a friend. Bragging. She says she's going to marry him, but she's never moaned like that with him. They laughed. He added, "You think he knows?" The friend said, "Does it matter? She keeps going back to you." I saved that too. Then I cried. Not because I still loved her, but because I had been so blind, so trusting. I wanted this wedding to be perfect. Turns out, it would be, just not for them. The night before the wedding, Lena and I didn't do the traditional no contact thing. She came over. We watched a movie, fell asleep in the same bed. She wrapped her arms around me, whispered, "This feels right." I held her, and I said, "Yeah, it does." Then I kissed her forehead and counted the hours. Wedding day. Most grooms wake up nervous, maybe a little hungover, anxious about the weather or the vows or the seating chart. I woke up calm, calculated, ready. I had rehearsed this moment in my mind over and over. Lena thought it was going to be the happiest day of her life. Noah thought he'd gotten away with the unthinkable. My parents were buzzing with joy. Guests were arriving with gifts and champagne. But me? I was preparing for the performance of a lifetime. The venue was pristine, elegant. Outdoor garden ceremony followed by a ballroom reception. White roses, gold accents, soft jazz playing in the background. It looked like something out of a bridal magazine. The AV tech gave me a thumbs up from the back of the ballroom. I handed him the USB drive. "Play this when I say showtime." He chuckled. "Got a surprise proposal video or something?" "Something like that." Backstage, Marcus adjusted my tie. "You sure about this, man?" he asked. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. I glanced in the mirror. Tux crisp. Eyes steady. Marcus handed me a backup USB drive. "Just in case. You always have my back." He smirked. "Someone has to." Lena arrived late. Traditional. Flawless. Dressed in a custom-made gown I helped pick out. Hair pinned up. Eyes glistening. She blew me a kiss as she passed by with her bridesmaids. I smiled. God, she was good. She had no idea what was about to happen. Noah stood beside me at the altar. My best man. The ultimate insult. He looked nervous, but not for the right reasons. Maybe he still thought I didn't know. Maybe he thought his performance had been airtight. The ceremony started. The music. The guests. The tension. Everyone stood. Lena walked down the aisle, radiant, holding her father's arm. I saw him look at me with pride. I almost felt bad. Almost. The officiant began his speech. Some words about love, commitment, loyalty. I stared at Lena. She stared back. Then the moment came. "Do you, Mar, take Lena to be your lawfully wedded wife?" I took a deep breath, held it, and said, "Actually, before I answer that, I have something I want to share." Gasps. Whispers. Lena froze. Noah blinked. I turned to the guests. Smiled. "I know this is unorthodox, but I prepared a little surprise for my bride and my best man. Something honest, something raw, something real." I signaled the AV tech. Showtime. The screen dropped behind the altar. Lights dimmed. The video began. Footage of Lena and Noah in our guest room. Kissing. Laughing. Undressing. The room erupted. Lena screamed. Noah shouted, "What the hell is this?" Guests gasped, covered their mouths. parents stood frozen. Someone dropped a wine glass. I stepped forward. That's not all. The video changed. Audio. Noah's voice. She says she's going to marry him, but she's never moaned like that with him. Laughter. More gasps. I looked at Lena, her eyes wide, makeup smearing, trembling. I trusted you, I said. Both of you. Lena tried to speak. I can explain. No need. I cut in. You already did. I turned to the crowd. This is who they are. My brother, my bride, my betrayal. I reached into my jacket and pulled out 2 envelopes, divorce papers, and a restraining order, prepared ahead of time. I handed one to Lena, the other to Noah. Consider this my wedding gift to you both. I walked off the altar. People parted, silent, shocked. Marcus followed me out. Outside, the sun was blinding. The breeze cold. Noah ran after me. Wait, Mar, please, I didn't mean for this to happen. I turned. You meant every second. You meant every lie. And now, you get to mean the consequences. He tried to grab my arm. I shoved him back. Hard. He fell into the rose bushes. Lena came rushing out. Please, don't do this. We can talk. I held up a hand. Talk. Like you talked to him in my bed? Like you talked to him while I was planning a future with you? She sobbed. It was a mistake. No, it was a pattern. Then I looked both of them dead in the eyes. You two deserve each other, but you don't deserve me. And with that, I walked away. Guests followed. Some tried to comfort me. Others just stood in stunned silence. My mother broke down. My father cursed. Lena's parents disappeared. The entire reception fell apart. But I felt more alive than I ever had. Marcus drove me back to my apartment. You did it, he said. You really did it. Yeah, I replied. But it's not over, because as cathartic as the reveal was, something still gnawed at me. The anonymous sender. Who filmed them? Who sent me the first video? And why? That night, I opened a private message on an encrypted app. Same sender. It read, "You missed something. Dig deeper." Attached? Another video. Noah and Lena. But not in my house. This time, it was my office. And Lena said something that made my blood run cold. He has no idea. He thinks it's his. His what? The message continued. The baby. You think it's his? Please. He doesn't even know. There was a child involved. And I wasn't the father. Suddenly, everything shifted. This wasn't just about betrayal. This was war. I thought the worst was over. That after the wedding day reveal, the lies and betrayals had been exposed and my life could begin to pick up the pieces. But that night, when I opened the encrypted message with the second video, everything I believed came crashing down again. The video showed Lena and Noah in my office, whispering quietly. Lena's voice cut through the silence. He has no idea. He thinks it's his. My heart sank before I even understood what she meant. Noah, are you sure? I can't lose him, Lena said softly. I watched, horrified, as Noah ran a hand through his hair, frustration and guilt twisting his face. It's too late now. You're carrying his kid. The words echoed in my head. His kid. Not Mina. I sat frozen, the weight of the revelation pressing on my chest. For weeks, I had thought the betrayal was about sex, lies, and broken promises. But now, it was about a child I was supposed to be the father of. Questions exploded inside me. When? How? Was the baby mine or Noah's? Was Lena still pregnant? Had she told anyone? And who was behind these videos? Watching. Waiting. I knew one thing for sure. I couldn't trust anyone anymore. The next morning, I woke up to an empty apartment. Lena was gone. Noah was nowhere to be found. The house was silent except for my own restless thoughts. I called Marcus. Man, you okay? You missed the breakfast. His voice sounded strained. Not really, I said. I've got to find out the truth. Starting now. Marcus agreed to help. Together, we would dig deeper than anyone dared. Our first stop was Lena's phone. I knew it was risky, but I couldn't resist. I hacked into her cloud backup, a move I'd never imagined making. The files flooded my screen. Photos, texts, videos, some innocent, some damning. There were messages from an unknown number. A man. Cautious, calculated texts. Arranging secret meetings. Talking about the baby. And the timing. One message stood out. I know you said it's complicated, but you can't keep him in the dark forever. He deserves to know the truth. Another reply from Lena. I don't want to hurt him. I want to fix this. But Noah is dangerous. Noah, dangerous? The pieces didn't fit. What kind of man was my brother? We cross-referenced the messages with Lena's calendar and bank statements. There were late-night visits to a doctor's office far from our hometown, payments for ultrasounds, prenatal vitamins. She was pregnant. There was no doubt. But whose baby was it? We had to find out more. I called my father. Dad, I need a favor. What's up, son? I need you to check something for me. Some files, records. Can you do that? He hesitated but agreed. Over the next 2 days, Marcus and I tried to keep our lives together while the investigation consumed us. We traced phone calls, followed leads, and confronted people who knew Lena and Noah. Each new detail was worse than the last. At a local clinic, a receptionist recognized Lena and Noah's names linked to several visits. They came in together, always looking tense. They didn't want anyone to know. Then, an old family friend who worked at the hospital leaked something astonishing. Mar, there's more. Lena had a miscarriage. It was hushed up. Noah was there, but he didn't tell you. I felt my world tilt. Not only had they betrayed me, but they were hiding everything, life and death, intertwined in secrets. The miscarriage explained Lena's growing weight fluctuations and mood swings. It explained why she was so nervous at the wedding. But why hide it? I confronted Marcus late one night. Why do they keep lying? What do they want? He looked me dead in the eyes. They're scared. Scared of losing you. Scared of the fallout. But the truth is, it's all unraveling. And soon, no one will be able to control the damage. I nodded. He was right. The damage was unstoppable now. Then, a late-night knock shattered the silence. It was Noah. His eyes were red. His face bruised. I didn't mean for it to get this bad, Mar. I'm sorry. I wanted to hate him. To scream. To shatter everything. But instead, I just looked at him and said, this isn't over. Not by a long shot. The next morning, I woke alone. Lena was gone. Noah had vanished. My apartment was dead silent, except for the noise of my own frantic thoughts. I called Marcus, my brother-in-law, and my closest confidant since this hell began. Man, you okay? You missed breakfast. Not really, I admitted. I've got to find out the truth. Starting now. Marcus didn't hesitate. I'm with you. Let's tear it down and see what's left. Our first stop was Lena's phone. I knew it was risky. I hated invading her privacy, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I cracked open her cloud backup. The files flooded my screen. Pictures, videos, messages, some normal, some twisted. There were messages from an unknown number. A man, careful, calculating texts, arranging secret meetings, talking about the baby and timing. The kind of conversations that don't belong to someone who's innocent. One text caught my eye. I know you said it's complicated, but you can't keep him in the dark forever. He deserves to know. Lena's reply chilled me. I don't want to hurt him. I want to fix this. But Noah is dangerous. Noah? Dangerous? I had never seen him that way. Was I blind? Was I wrong? We cross-checked the messages against Lena's calendar and bank records. Late-night visits to a doctor's office far outside town. Multiple payments for ultrasounds. Prenatal vitamins. This wasn't just a fling. This was serious. She was pregnant, no doubt. But whose child? We had to find out more. I called my father. Dad, I need a favor. I need you to check something for me. He sounded cautious, hesitant. What exactly? Some files. Medical records, visits, anything linked to Lena or Noah. Please. He agreed, though I knew he wasn't happy. Meanwhile, Marcus and I kept digging. We retraced calls, interviewed friends and coworkers. The deeper we went, the worse it got. At a local clinic, a receptionist recognized the names. They came in together a few times, always secretive, didn't want anyone to know. Then a family friend, someone I trusted, dropped a bombshell. Mar, there's more. Lena had a miscarriage. It was hushed up. Noah was there, but he never told you. My heart shattered into pieces. Not only had they betrayed me, They'd hidden a tragedy, one I should have been part of. The miscarriage explained Lena's recent mood swings and weight changes. Her nervousness at the wedding made sense now. But why keep it secret? Why lie? I confronted Marcus late one night, my mind swirling with pain and rage. Why do they keep lying? What do they want? Marcus looked me in the eyes. They're scared, Mar. Scared of losing you. Scared of everything unraveling. But the truth is, it's all falling apart, and soon no one will be able to control the damage. I nodded. He was right. And then came a knock on my door. It was Noah. Bloodshot eyes. A bruised face. Like he'd been through hell. I didn't mean for it to get this bad, he said, voice cracking. I'm sorry. I wanted to hate him, to scream and tear him apart. But I just looked at him and said, this isn't over. Not by a long shot. The next few weeks were a blur of confrontations, revelations, and breaking points. Noah begged for forgiveness, telling me Lena had manipulated him. Lena tried to reach me through texts and calls, claiming she wanted to fix things. But I was too shattered to listen. Then the police showed up. They'd opened an investigation into Lena and Noah's financial dealings. Embezzlement from the company Noah worked at, suspicious transfers linked to Lena's accounts. Fraud, deceit, and lies, layered on top of lies. It was like their entire world was a house of cards. But the final blow came when I met with a private investigator I'd hired. She's hiding something else, Mar, the investigator said gravely. DNA tests. She's trying to cover up who the father really is. The baby wasn't Noah's either. It was someone else's. By then, I was ready to burn it all down and watch the ashes. But deep down, I knew the fight was just beginning. When I confronted her with the records, she didn't deny it. You were a mark, Mar. But somewhere along the way, I started to feel something real. That's why I stayed. That's why I panicked. So, who's the father? She hesitated, then said a name that made my blood freeze. Marcus, my best friend, my brother-in-law, my last ally. Marcus denied it, of course. Swore he'd never touched her. Swore it was a setup. But I couldn't think straight anymore. I had been betrayed by everyone. I needed proof. I sent for another DNA test. This time, Marcus and the baby. While we waited for the results, I spiraled. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. I started recording everything, every conversation, every visit, every memory. I was building a case, not for court, for myself, to make sense of the madness. Then the results came. Marcus was the father. When I confronted him, he didn't fight it. He just sat there, silent, broken. It was one night, he said. A mistake. I thought you'd never forgive me, so I didn't say anything. You were all I had left, I said, and now you're just like the rest. He tried to apologize. I didn't listen. The final betrayal pushed me over the edge. I disappeared for a week. No phone, no messages. Just me, the mountains, and a journal. I wrote everything. Every moment, every lie, every secret. I poured it out like poison, hoping to bleed it from my soul. And when I came back, I had a plan. Lena's trial was approaching fraud, conspiracy, falsifying records. Noah had cut her off. My father had retreated into shame. Marcus had resigned from the company. I stood alone, but I was ready. I published my journal online, anonymized, but raw. Thousands of readers, millions of views. The truth, unfiltered. The story of a man destroyed by the people he loved most. And the final twist? The baby Marcus's daughter was left in my custody because Lena vanished before the trial. Disappeared. Some say she fled the country. Some say she's hiding, planning her next move. Me? I sleep with one eye open because I know she's not done. And neither am I. The thing about fire is, once it starts, it doesn't care who it burns. Lena's disappearance had left more than a void it left behind, scorched earth. Everyone she touched was changed, broken, and I was done trying to fix it. Weeks passed, then months. No leads, no trial, no closure, just whispers. People loved to speculate. Some said she fled to Argentina. Others said she faked her own death. A few believed I had something to do with her vanishing. Maybe I did, in a way, because I exposed her, took away her mask. When the con breaks, so does the illusion. And Lena? She couldn't live unmasked. I spent that time rebuilding. Not my life. That was gone. But something new. I took full custody of the baby Ava. Marcus had signed away his rights, said he wasn't fit to raise a child born from betrayal. I didn't do it out of love. Not at first. I did it out of obligation. She didn't ask to be born into this chaos, but Ava saved me. Slowly, quietly. Then came the letter. No return address, just my name, written in Lena's perfect script. Inside, a plane ticket. One word on the note. Closure. Destination. Athens. I sat with that ticket for days. Then I booked my own flight. Athens was chaos and beauty. Ancient ruins beside neon-lit streets. It was a city built on stories and ruin like me. She found me before I could find her. It was midnight. Rooftop bar. The Acropolis lit behind us. She walked up like we were old lovers, not ghosts. I didn't say anything, just stared. She slid into the seat across from me, ordered 2 drinks, didn't ask. You came. You summoned, she sipped. You look older, tired. That's what happens when you burn your life down. She smiled faintly. I read everything you wrote. The journal, the posts. You have a gift. You have a curse. Silence stretched between us. Then she said, I needed you to see me one last time, before I disappear for good. Why? Guilt? Redemption? Another con? Because you're the only person who ever saw both versions of me, the mask and the mess underneath. I stood to leave. He died, you know. I turned back. Marcus, overdose, 3 weeks ago. The ground tilted. You're lying. She shook her head. It was in the papers. I thought you knew. I sat back down. Numb. He couldn't forgive himself. And just like that, the anger cracked. I wept. She left before sunrise. No goodbye. No address. Just a folded photo of Ava and me from the blog. Back home, I buried Marcus next to Mom. No press. No cameras. Just me, Ava, and a storm. I spent the next year writing a book. Not about Lena. About survival. About truth. About what happens when love turns into something darker. It became a bestseller. Irony, huh? Then, one day, a package arrived. From Zurich. Inside. Bank statements. Millions. Transferred to Ava. Set to unlock when she turned 18. There was only one person who could have done it. And one sentence on the card for the only innocent soul in our story. Lena. I don't know where she is. Don't care. Maybe she's rebuilding. Maybe she's conning again. Maybe she finally found peace. Me, I tell stories now. Some true, some not. But all with one warning. Be careful who you love. Because love, real, raw, dangerous love, doesn't heal. It haunts. And as for Ava, she calls me Dad, and that's enough.